welcome to another video. I am so happy you clicked play. If you're new here, do me a big favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button. And y'all drop me some hearts in the comment. Hey besties, if you're joining me, my A1 day ones, my lovely bestie crew, if you're joining me again, I'm so happy you clicked play. Let's get into it. Tonight, I gotta look at my handy dandy notes because y'all, I be throwing these videos back to back, y'all. I'll be doing that batch content. So this story time is called Blackout. And y'all, baby, do I got a story time for y'all, honey. Girl, your girl done passed out in the prison, okay? So y'all, go ahead and get you a snack, sit back, and come listen to this story time, girl. Cause what? Girl passing out in the prison for that criminal rapist? Oh, girl, why? So anyway, it was just like it is right now. 97 degrees outside. Hot, okay? Very hot outside. But the inmates, a lot of them still wanted to go outside. Just like the kids get their playtime outside, they wanted that outside time. So each time they would go to yard, they would go outside for about 2 hours, okay? And so you had this time. Sometimes you would get to go out in the morning time, and sometimes you would get to go out in the afternoon. If it was a good day, our staff was there and we could do it, we would swing it where they got yard time in the morning time and they got yard time in the afternoon time. And y'all, the stars picked me to go out there, y'all. And this was in the afternoon time. I had worked all day and I was feeling just fine. Everything was good, y'all. So I went outside. They said, okay, Baker, you got yard. And so when you got yard, you go out there and you check the yard before any inmate come out there. You go out there. And hey, if you're new here, my name is Barbara Dior. I don't know if I said it, but I just don't want y'all to think you're talking to a stranger, okay? So hey, Zols. Anyway, let's get back into the story. So I gotta go check the yard, y'all. I got to make sure there ain't no contraband, knives, weapons, cell phones they ain't supposed to have that people keep sneaking there. Different things, different items. You looking for anything that could be dangerous, drugs. You looking for anything, cigarettes. You look at this contraband. You looking and you checking. And if you see anything, you gather it up and you got documented and you got to do a report. So you looking for everything. For the most of the time, anytime I check the yard, I didn't find too much. Every now and then we would find something. Like one time before, we had found some dead birds stuffed with weed inside of it. People were throwing soccer balls from the street, and it were having like different type of drugs in it. So a lot of things have been tried. A lot of knives have been found that there were homemen that called shanks, but they're knives that the inmates made. They were found on the yard. So it was very important that you to check the yard, because if the inmates got out there and they got a hold of that stuff, people's very lives was in danger. So you had to take it serious when you check the yard. And so I was going out there and y'all, it was hot, okay? It was hot, okay? 97 degrees, and I thought, ain't nobody gonna go to the yard. We could go out here, we're doing this little round, and then we'll get to go back outside. But I didn't go out there by myself, so I would go check the yard. Once I cleared the yard, basically call in and say the yard is checked and secured. And so then they start calling the people to come outside. So they call everybody to come out here, like all the inmates, you know, from different pods, they can come on out there. And so another officer came out there and we were on the yard. And the inmates will come on out, and once they come on out, you walk them down, because it was like a door that will open from the unit they were on, and then it was another door that opened to the yard, and you kind of was close by that door so to see, because during that little exchange anything can happen, because there was not a good camera over there, so you kind of got an angle so you could see, to make sure they walked to the yard safely and walked back, and that they were not hurt, or they don't hurt each other or you. So you had to just keep your eye on everything. So all the inmates walked out there to the yard, and they get on to the yard, and they do all types of things. Some people, they walk back and forth. They go out there, do push-up and sit-up. Some people just walk around and talk, and they just taking in, you know, the fresh air. You get to go outside. A lot of people just love to go outside to mingle, to just talk, because even though you were in this fence, there were other units that were in different fences, and they would talk to each other through the fence. They weren't supposed to, but they were talking to each other through the fence or whatever. So a lot of people like to go out there to talk to each other. I say go out there and plot and play. That's what they used to go out there, and what they gonna do, send message to each other. But anyway, they will go out there on the yard. And when they were on the yard, you just had to watch. You had to keep your eye, because if a fight happened on the yard, it could be very serious, because it's such an open space for anything. Anything can happen. So you had to keep your eye on everything. And so I just noticed, y'all, it was so hot. And so where we were sitting at, because there was bleachers out there where we could sit at, I was trying to sit in the shade, but y'all, it was 97 degrees outside. It was so hot. I don't care where you sit at. Yard was 2 hours, and we had to stay out there until the last. I mean, like, we could go in early if the inmates decide. So if they tell me, Baker, I want to go in. And so I felt like, let's say on this particular day, let's say 20 inmates came out. And so people were saying, okay, Baker, it's too hot out there, I want to go back. And so if somebody will walk them out, because when they had a yard call, it might start off with 2 officers, and then before you know, it's 4 officers out there. And they'll come out there just because they're walking around, you know, going to unit, and they not trying to go back to their unit. So they'll come out there on the yard and talk to, you know, the officers talk among each other, whatever. But if an officer was willing to walk them back to the unit, we'll let them go back to the unit. So the officer that I was out there with a man. Anytime one of them said they want to go back to he walked them to the he walked them back to the unit. So I was fine with me. I ain't let you go back. If he'll walk you back, you can go. Cause if we finna just be out here. Cause you wanted to go. Now we gonna burn up together. But really, I should have just walked them back to the yard. Or I felt like it was a play to get me from not watching what's going on. I ain't know. Why you want to go back to the yard? What do you not want me to see? Okay, so I didn't take mine off the yard, but if he take you back, I gotta watch what y'all got going on out here. And so after a while, it trickled from 20 inmates already down to 4 inmates. And y'all, we've been out here for an hour and a half. That sun is cooking my brain. I did not know it, but it was cooking it and fried it, honey. And I was just hot, okay? And I had on a baseball cap and everything, and that's what probably made me not pass out outside. But baby, I was hot, okay? I ain't had nothing to drink. My mouth was parched. I just was like, woo, it's hot out here. And so I'm calling on the radio, hey, we've been out here for about an hour 30. It's 97 degrees. Can we come back in? He was like, give him 10 more minutes, you come back in. And then I looked at the clock. I clocked it, and he called. I said, okay, it's been 10 minutes. Can we come back in now? I'm hot. Look, it's enough. They've been out here long enough. So it's only 5 of them out there. He was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and end the call. In 5 minutes, we're going to end the yard. So they make an announcement of the yard time in it, so they know it's time to come back in. So all the inmates that walk back in, everything good, is what I thought, okay? So I had been on the floor the whole day, so it was time for me to do my booth time. And I was like, okay, good, because I done did down the hall. I done been doing rounds for the, been doing rounds every hour. And I was like, okay, after I get back from yard, I'm gonna just be in the booth for the rest of the day, because it was 2 people that didn't want to do the booth, so I was doing their time. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be in the booth for the rest of the day, so it's good. When I come back in, I just be in the booth. I'll get me some water and I'll be good. But I had already, when I came back in, I was supposed to do one more round because we were timed. I think at this time they took rounds from doing rounds every hour to every 30 minutes. So when I looked on the sheet, I was a stickler on following the time schedule. So when I looked, I see we need another round. So I told the person up top, or the person that's in the booth, hey, I'm gonna do this round right quick and I'm gonna go up there. But I really, either way, I probably would have passed out, y'all. But either way, I should have had went on sit down, because I was extremely high. By the time that I came back in the building was cool. I was like, okay, I'll be straight. I do feel a little dizzy, but once I do this round, I get to sit down for the rest of the time, and we good. And I didn't want our rounds to be off or whatever, so I went on and did a round. And so I did round in the first pod, and each pod has 48 men in it, okay? Each pod had 48 men, and there was 3 pods on one side, so 48 of men, and it had upstairs, and everybody had their own room, and that was one side of the unit. And then on the other side, the same thing. It's 3 different pods, so they had A, B, C, and then they had D, E, F side, okay? And there was somebody in the booth on that side, and there was somebody in the booth, and there was supposed to be officers on the floor, and there's supposed to be officers on the other floor. And the reason why I said so supposed to be, because sometimes the officers was missing in action. You don't know where they were. They were somewhere, but they won't down there watching. And so I always try to stay where I was supposed to be, because I know how dangerous it is for somebody not watching. And so I said, I'm gonna do my little rounds or whatever. So when I did my rounds, everything was going good. I did my rounds in the first one, everything. I was feeling a little dizzy, but I was like, okay, I'm shaking it off. You know what I'm saying? You know how you shake something off? You like, I'm gonna be good. I think I'm gonna be good. So I do my round in the first one, and you know, the inmates was like, appreciate you going outside. I know it's hot. Make sure you drink some water, Baker. Make sure you drink some water. I'm like, yeah, I got some in the refrigerator. I'm gonna get some. Be like, okay. And they'll ask you different stuff. Like, Baker, what you gonna eat for lunch? They'll just ask you different stuff because they just trying to make small talk. Some people, I think, just don't know what to say. And then some people trying to distract you from doing what they really doing, okay? They on them cell phone. They trying to make small talk so I won't notice what's going on in the next room beside them. So you had to be on point about that. So I went, finished the first pod, then I did the second pod, and then I just noticed I was feeling real bad. When it came to that third pod, I'm like, let me go ahead and hurry up getting that booth, because baby, my body was like, girl, what's going on? And so I'm walking, and at this time, a lot of people, because during this time when they were out like this before they had the lockdown, they could take their showers. There were 4 showers in the pod. There was 2 upstairs and there was 2 on the bottom. So they could take their showers if they wanted to while they were out. They could watch TV. They could play cards. They could walk around. They were out. We were not on lockdown, so they could be out. A lot of people were in their room. Some people was in their room with their door open. Some people was sitting out there, and you know, everything was good. But at this particular time in this pod, let's say if 4 inmates were out, okay, and everybody else, some people were taking showers, some people was in their room. It wasn't that many inmates, and a lot of inmates in this particular pod was at work. So they worked in the kitchen, and that's a lot of them were in school. So it was not a lot of inmates in there. But let's say altogether in this pod, it was like 10 inmates in this pod. And a lot of them are either in a room, because there are only 4 inmates that are out. And so I'm walking and I'm getting close to. So if you go inside the pod, it's to walk, the rooms go down, and then you go around and come back up. And then if you go on the stairs, it's the same way. So I'm walking, but I'm feeling woozy. But I'm trying to get myself together. But the next thing I know, whoops, boom, I done fell on the floor, y'all. So I'm talking about, I have passed out. All I remember is the sky said whoosh. That's all I remember. And in my head, when I came to, I thought somebody hit me in the back of the head. I didn't feel any pain in the back of the head, but I knew I had passed out. And so I don't know how long I had been passed out, okay? I found out afterwards I had been passed out for 5 minutes, okay? Out. Gone, okay? When I woke to, I didn't open up my eyes. I didn't feel any pain. So I knew I was on the floor. But I cracked my eyes over, just squinted just a little bit, like I'm on the floor. And I hear inmates talking. This is the worst situation any officer could be, down on the floor. And there's nobody help but you there, okay? And I'm thinking, like, did the booth operator see me fall on the floor, or what's going on? Because I'm listening to the inmates talk, and it's the 4 inmates that talking. It was like, Baker, is you okay? No, she out, man. She out. Look at that motherfucker in the booth, sleep. I ain't watching shit. We could do anything to her right now. Then one of them, you better not touch fucking Baker. You touch fucking Baker, they gonna kill you in this motherfucker. They love her in this bitch. You better not fucking touch Baker. If it was one of them other stupid hoes that fall, then it was one. Shit, I don't give a fuck. What they gonna do? They don't even know that she out, and they just talking, and you can hear all types of mindsets going on. And you can hear some people like, don't touch Baker. You can hear some people like, shit, I'm finna drag her in my room. I'm hearing all this stuff. And so I'm trying to see where my radio is. And I'm trying to see, because y'all, when I fell out, I could see my batteries to my radio is gone. So my radio is out of commission anyway. And I'm trying to think. And they literally, they're closer to me. They're talking amongst themselves, standing up. And they keep talking among themselves, then looking down to see if I'm coming to or not. And I'm too, but I ain't giving them no kind of way, because I'm trying to think, if I get up, I could crack somebody in the head, and I could do anything, right? So then, before you know it, y'all, I'm out again. Whew. I guess my brain went overload. I didn't know what was going on. I done passed out again. Whew. So when I wake up the next time, it's like almost 15 men. So like this in front of me, right? They're like this in front. They're not looking at me. Their backs are towards me, but I'm still in the back of the pile on the floor, passed out. And I'm like, oh, this ain't good. I don't know what this little circle. So if I'm on the floor, their backs are to me. So they're like this and I'm behind them on the floor. And I'm thinking like, okay, I don't know what this means, but in my brain, it's like, okay, basically we got your, like maybe this is a standoff. We got your officer and they finna hurt me or something. And I was like, dog, how many people did I rack up in this pod? I brought up many of people in this pod. Yeah, they gonna get me. This ain't good. I didn't know what was going on, but it was like 6 inmates. All of a sudden, I was like, I don't want nobody in this pod. It was like 6 inmates. Like, why the fuck are you protecting her? And so they're in an argument. It's 15 inmates standing in front of me with their arms. So they're all different sizes. Big, small, tall, bald. They all different sizes, but they like this. And I'm on the floor, passed out. And they arguing. And the dude that's kind of like in the middle of this people that got their arms up like this, he like, you ain't fucking touching them. Anybody touching them, you're gonna have to start a war with me. Now, me knowing who he was kind of like second in command of the Bloods. So I'm thinking like, I don't have no rapport with this man, so I don't know what's going on, and all I know is I keep passing out and coming to. I done passed out twice, and I don't know what's going on in between me passing out. But when I first passed out, but 4 people. Now it's a whole bunch of y'all, and they're arguing with another set of people. And I'm thinking like, don't nobody see me? So I'm trying to peek and look up. I look up. Another officer. This is the different officer from that last story. Up there asleep, spit on their shirt, knocked out. So he said, hey, yo, Rocco, go get Baker help. Rocco, take off walking. He take off walking. Then he take a run to the front. Boom, 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 boom. He banged on the front. He beating on the front door because it's closed. They done, again, closed me in a pod. I'm down on the floor. You're not watching me. I've been passed out. Altogether, I've been on this floor for almost 15 minutes now, y'all. On this floor. Nobody knows I'm on this floor. Only the inmates know. And God knows why they doing this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm in good or I'm not. I'm still like, why? I'm still lost in why the inmates are in front of me like this. And I'm on the floor. And so, Rocco, boo, 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 boo. Hey, yo, Baker need help. Boo, 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 boo. Hey, yo, Baker need help. Boo, 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 boo. He beating with all his might. I said, I might be good, but I'm dead. I'm a dead fish. I'm alive. I'm dead again. I'm alive. I'm dead again. I'm alive. I'm dead again. Cause baby, I don't know if it's just a trick to see if I'm gonna wake up and they gonna get hold of me. Let me be a dead fish and y'all gonna leave me down here on the floor and don't touch me. And so when he started doing that, the stars flew out the officer. What the fuck going on? And so he see the officer up there. He see the officer up there. He boom, 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 boom. Wake your ass up. Open this goddamn door. And so he opened up the door. And this person that was a female. He, oh shit, my bad, Baker. Oh my God, Baker on the floor. And she said, Code 7, SC unit, green bar, Code 7, green. Now, a Code 7, if you're not aware, it means when an inmate has attacked a staff, okay? At this time, I've been passed out. I don't know whether I've been attacked or not. I know I'm laying on the floor. I know that I don't think I could get up. I know that I'm scared on this floor. And I don't care. Now that I know that y'all had called somebody, I feel a little happy. So he swing the door. Whoosh. He done swing the door, right? So when the door comes open now. The door come open, it slides this way. So it came up. Sarge said, I don't know what the fuck going on in this bitch, but y'all better let her go. So he thinking they got me hostage. I I'm thinking I'm hostage. And at this time, I'm still a dead fish on the floor because I don't trust it. I want to be a dead fish until I can figure out how to get out. Now, the door is open now. And one thing about me, I know I run good. I can't fight 15 men, but I can run good. That's what I do, though. So I'm thinking, like, can I get up? Can I get up and get up out of here? Because the door is open now, okay? Why? That person ain't sleep. Let me get up out of here. So they were like, Baker. And he yelling, right? Because they don't know what to think of this. He was like, I don't know what the fuck you got going on, but I'm going to fuck y'all ass up if Baker hurt. And then the head blood, he still like this. He like, Sergeant, ain't shit happened to you. Ain't shit happened to Baker. I ain't going to let nobody touch Baker. Nobody's to touch Baker. And then the 6 men that still arguing, what the fuck? What the fuck you protecting Baker for? What the fuck? All she do is wipe niggas up and give them a hard time. What the fuck you protecting Baker for? He was like, because she a woman and y'all not gonna hurt no more woman. So the sergeant was like, lock the fuck down. Everybody lock the fuck down, right? And so the 6, they run like roaches when you turn the lights on. They go run. They run like roaches. They go in the room. Motherfucker, boo. They just hollering. I'm a dead fish on the floor like. Trying to make my eye roll like I'm out of, just in case somebody looking at me. My brain is all the way together now. I'm shocked and I'm like, Lord, I don't know if I can get up and run. I don't want to get up and something happen because I still don't know why this 15 is here. I'm confused just like they confused. And it was like, we ain't going nowhere. And then they like, we ain't going nowhere until y'all get Baker off this floor and get her out of here. And I'm thinking like, this don't look good, sir. All y'all is wolves and y'all protecting me. What's going on? They're gonna say, you my little boyfriend. Boy, go to your room. I don't need you no more. Thank you, though. But I'm still down there like a dead fish. The sergeant said, hey, yo, she good now. You can go lock down. He said, I ain't locking down and we not locking down until y'all get her some help. And so then they call the code blue. And the code blue is when somebody pass out. So they call a cold blue C-pod green unit. And then they go get the stretcher, right? The stretcher come in there. All the people from medicals run in there. And then the inmates start locking down one by one. And the dude that's in charge, he like, go. One lockdown, shut the door. You sure? They ask him, you sure? Go. And then he had one, he said secure the doors. And so he go around everywhere like that's our job, to go around, make sure all the doors is closed. He went and made sure every door is closed. He said if anybody touch Baker, you die. She protected. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga? I don't know this nigga for real. Cause I know what they people gonna think. Oh Lord, Baker got something going on with his inmate. Oh Lord, Baker so warm till she died. Like, but oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? I know what people gonna think when they see this. I know what people gonna think, but this ain't it. And I ain't understand. I was still lost. Like, why this man protect me for real? Cause me, mouth as I was, baby, you should have let them niggas or whatever drag me in there, go or something. I don't know what, cause I was mean some days, okay. But he did, but God, all it take a praise break. Cause I made it home that day. And so I'm still trying to lay down there like a dead fish. So when the stretcher came in there, I said, what happened? Whole time I'm like, Lord Jesus, come get me, my inside. Get me off the floor. So Sarah picked me up, y'all. Sarah picked me up off the floor and would carry me like a baby, y'all. So pick me up. I got you, Baker. And he would carry me out. And all the officers, because a lot of people, because when they call it Code 7, a lot of people come down. And everybody looking at me like I done died, y'all. All the officers and captains is looking at me like I done died. And I'm thinking like, I am fine, okay? Just get me out of here. But when he got me up, I felt kind of weak, right? But see, I had this reputation though. You know, I come around, I talk, I'm hard. You know what I'm saying? I got that reputation. So I'm like, so put me down, let me walk. He was like, Baker, I saw you fall on the camera. I rewind the camera back before I came in. When they said you were down on the floor, I looked up and I saw you fall on the camera. When the camera played black, I rewinded back to try to see what was going on, and I saw you fall. He was like, I don't think you good. I know you gonna have a knot on your head. And sure enough, y'all, I had a knot swollen. Like, I had a knot right here and I had a knot right here, and it hurt real bad, y'all. It hurt real bad. I'm like, nah, I gotta walk out of here. So I was like, Saul, put me down. Suit, put me down. So he walked me from the back of the pod, and in the front of the pod, he put me down, right? And so once he got me to the door, then the other inmate, he went and locked down. He locked down. And so then after that, they of course they got to run the camera back. They got to do the investigation. I get to the door. I said, "Sorry, put me down, man. I can't have you carry me out here. I'm a G, man. I can't have you carry me out of here." But I'm whispering this to him because I don't want them to hear. So I put me down, y'all. As soon as he put me down, I felt like jelly. My body said, wugga, wugga, wugga. But I didn't fall. I limped, y'all. I was limping. They picked up my radio. They picked up my handcuff because I had knocked myself silly, y'all. And they picked up all my stuff and they put it in the sergeant's office. And then we got on the stretcher. They was trying to put me on the stretcher. I said, I'm a G, man. I can't walk out of this because when you walk out you walk off the unit, and then you have to walk walk past the cafeteria. Inmates gonna be in there. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna walk. Y'all walk me past it. What's the name? Then y'all put me on the stretcher. So once we got past that cafeteria, the child, whatever you want to call it, we got past that. I said, put me on the stretcher. Y'all, my leg, everything on me was weak or whatever. So when they got me to the hospital, they rushed me to the hospital. They found out I was dehydrated, y'all. I was so, like, they put me with so many fluids and stuff like that. Shoot, y'all, I was dehydrated. I'm talking about dehydrated, the most dehydrated you could be. They pumped me with so many fluids. They found out my iron was low. I already knew I was anemic. I won't do it like I'm supposed to. I do like I'm supposed to now. I take them iron pills now. I don't play by that now, 'cause I don't want to pass out nowhere else. Somebody else might get hold of it. But y'all, the scariest part about knowing about what happened to me, y'all, is that there was a rapist in there, in that pod. I fell out in front of his cell, y'all. And he was a rapist. I don't know if y'all remember this story time, but he was the person that was going to this, like this, like it was like a track where women run on this track. Like if you go to your neighborhood park and they got a track where people gonna run, he was snatching women off the track, and he was raping them. He was in there for raping over 99 women, right? And I decided that I'm gonna go in there and be dehydrated and pass out in front of the door. So if y'all don't believe in God, baby, I do, because I was a easy prize. And guess what he did? The whole time that this situation was going on, he was asleep, y'all. He did not wake up until after the sergeants and them busted in there. That's what he woke him up. He was asleep, but I passed out in front of his door. And that was the craziest part. Because then, afterward, the sergeant's like, Baker, you would pass out in front of the motherfucker been waiting for you, okay? And so after that, I was out for like 4 days. And when I came back to work like regular. I'm thinking like everything gonna go back to normal. So what ended up happening, I came back. And so what my sergeant said, due to be passing out, whatever, he want to kind of take it easy. So he said, for the next 3 months, you're in booth all day. You just gonna be in the booth all day. Because I think it really scared him. You know what I'm saying? That really scared him that, I really, didn't watch my health. And I didn't really take consider of my health. And he just felt like I was doing so much at once. So they set me in the booth for 3 months. And that's what I did. I could only come out for a little bit of time. And y'all, what I respected but could not understand is that if you really do your job and you are walking in your calling, okay? Because I didn't understand why I was at the prison, but I know I was supposed to be there, even though I was trying to fit in and I was trying to be mean and stuff, but that's not who my spirit was. I really wanted to put my hands on everybody and pray for everybody and help them walk through, but that was not my role. That was not what I was hired to do. But so I had to play this mean demeanor, and that was not who I was. But I had to do my job. Like, you know, I would talk to them sometimes, but then I'd be like, okay, you've been talking to me long enough. You know they gonna think you're trying to, and I would shoot them away sometimes. But at the same time, my job, or I felt like I was called to come to the prison to spread a little joy, to spread a little peace, to spread a little comforting word. Because when I got the opportunity, I did. I said a little something and I kept walking. I kept it brief and I kept walking. Whenever I could and make an impact, I did. And I feel like I did my job well, but at the same time, I had to play this hard demeanor character to do my job. So at the time, you know, I came back. And so when I came back, y'all, the inmates are not supposed to buy me anything, and I'm not, you know, the officers are not supposed to buy the inmates. But what they did was, every time they would go to the canteen, they will put a bottle of water on top of the booth. So if I'm up there in a booth, which you sit up high in this booth, there's like a space or like a flat place where you can place something up there. Nothing's supposed to be up there, but the inmates were going to the canteen and putting water on the booth. And so SARS told them, hey, don't do that. Y'all know that she can't accept anything for you. They did not listen. What will happen was inmates were coming from different units. They were sneaking on you. So if our slider was open, when they go to canteen, they had heard about me passing out on the unit. They were walking on the unit and putting bottles of water up there. So before you know it, y'all, almost 500, if not more, bottled waters have been given to me. And they kept on telling them, hey, y'all can't, Baker cannot take this water. And they kept on saying, they'll knock on the thing, because it was like a metal wall. I can't really make the sound. I'm going to try to find the sound, but it was like a metal wall. They were like, and they'll walk off. They didn't say nothing to me. They will hit the metal thing to let me know, and then they'll put a bottle of water up there like, but what, Baker, you better drink that shit. Because even though I was mean, if somebody passed out, I did CPR. If somebody really needed help, I helped them. If somebody said they were having a bad day and they said, Baker, can you pray for me to that God that you believe in? You know, I got you. And I keep it moving. I kept it brief, but I was the little motivation. I was the little motivation. She might be mean, but she do care, okay? She do her job. She ain't finna do nothing extra, but she do care, okay? So they be like, Baker, I'm having a hard day. You gonna pray for me, right? I got you. And keep going. And that's how I did my job. I kept it straight to the point. But if somebody said something to me, or I could offer a encouraging word, I did, if I could slide it in there. And so that really moved me, you know, that they would do that. And I'm talking about, this went on for days and days and days and days, until they probably collected over about 500 or 600, probably close to 600 bottles of water. That's how many inmates kept on buying water from me, because they heard that I was out cold. That was bad. Like, that was bad for me. And I remember they had canteen, and I came down because our bathroom that was in the booth was out of order, so I had to come down to use the bathroom. And it was we used to call them old school when they were older. Old schools was in the hallway, and they're like, Baker, you can't be falling around these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers waiting for you to be slipping. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could have slid you in the room. Ain't nobody told you that shit, but they ready. It's a lot of people. That same mother that you using, the same mother, because he ended up getting locked up too, but I didn't realize what he got locked up. But a lot of people got locked up behind it. But what they were doing was, they put a lot of people under investigation. So I was back on my unit, and they were giving water. So they finally made an announcement and line up about the water, that the water was going to be put in all the staff's refrigerators on every unit, since so much was donated to me. And the inmates were refusing to take it back, so they gave it to all the staff. I guess they got permission for whoever they had to get permission for, and they gave it to all the staff, because who can drink 600 bottles of water? I can't. So I did end up drinking some of the water, because we needed the water. It was hot every day. So they end up actually accepting the water, but they filled up the staff refrigerator on every unit with the water. But they did tell the inmates that they could not buy no more water. They couldn't accept no more water. And so the inmates stopped after This went on for about a week, for about like 5 days. They every time I was there, the 5 days that I was there, because you know we work weird shift. Sometimes we work Monday, Tuesday, and then we off Wednesday, Thursday. Then we work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the short week is Wednesday, Thursday. So the 5 days that I was there, they did. So after about, let's say, a month went past, right? Now, but prior to, after I had to do my report, tell them what happened. They ended up showing me what happened on the camera, and I think that it was crazy to watch on camera. I was out for a minute, y'all. I passed out. To watch me actually pass out was just, it was crazy, y'all. To watch you pass out on camera. And I had stumbled already. When I came in the pod, I was already shaking, y'all. I was already about to go. And when I came in that last pod, and I was trying to walk, and the inmate had came up to me, and he was talking to me. And when I fell, I kind of grabbed him and went down, And he was like this on the camera, backing up. I was like, I know I scared him to death. And then they gather up talking, they looking among themselves, but they looking down on me. I was like, yeah, that was bad. He was like, yeah, it was terrible to watch, because you can tell that they were trying to figure out what they gonna do with you. And then the person in the booth got fired because she done did it before. She ended up getting fired. They let her work she was under investigation for 6 months, and she ended up getting fired. But after 2 months, so she was up there with me. So anytime you're under investigation, they put you in the booth in the front of the prison, and you open the doors so people can come inside the facility. So after a month, all of a sudden they came to the unit, and they told me to report to the office. And so they started questioning me, and they was like, can you tell us why the Bloods protected you? And I was like, did you ask them? I don't know why they protected me. Are you a Blood? I'm like, no, I ain't no Blood. I serve the Lord. That's the only person. That's the only thing I obey, Jesus. Okay. And so it was like, okay. So I thought that was the end of that. So then the following day, they told me that I had to report to the front. And so when I report to the front, I had to report to the warden's office. And when I talked to the ward, he was like, that you're under investigation due to what happened on Green Unit when the Bloods protected you. We need to get to the bottom of this, because we're not understanding why they protected you. Normally in a situation like this, they not. So it gave that y'all was mad that they protected me. Did you want them to not protect me? Because that's what it gave you. Are y'all upset that they protected me? Because I don't know why they protected me. I hadn't really, to be honest, the head of the Bloods that was in there, I had never really had too many conversations with him, because he did what he was supposed to do. I never had any run-ins to it. Every time I see him, he used to do this. He did a little nod. I did my little nod, and we went about our business. We never really had too many issues. He was just one of the ones that followed the rules. So I never. So he asked me why. I said, well, what did he say? He was like, the guy told him to protect you. I said, well, why can't y'all just believe that? He was like, he was dreaming, because they let me read his statement, because I wanted to know. He was dreaming. He was knocked out. He was knocked out in his room, and he got told in a dream to wake up and protect Baker. Make sure she's safe, and I will protect you. He said when he got up, he saw I was on the floor, and it was like, shit, Baker, what the fuck? Like, shit on the floor. He was like, Baker is mouthy, but Baker got a heart of gold, and everybody see that. She come in here do her job, and a lot of people don't like her, whether it's staff or inmate, because she gonna do her job. And she's gonna correct you, whether you staff or not, and she gonna do her job. And a lot of people don't like her because she gonna do her job. He said, I respect somebody that's gonna do their job, because if you doing your job, I know that at least one, it's gonna be peace while you on here. Cause believe it or not, if you are an officer that do your job, they don't have to worry about too much foolishness going on, because you are there. And they say, whoop, whoop, the police here, so everybody know they got to lay low and don't too much go on. So a lot of people like when you a person that come in and do your job, and then there's a lot of people they can't move like they want to, so they'll be mad about you coming in and doing what you doing. So either way, he was like, Baker don't bother me. I ain't never had no issues with her. I seen her write up a lot of people, but we never had no issues or whatever. And they was like, you know, asking him in the report. I read a report. They asked him, do we date? Do we have something going on? Was he in love with me? I'm like, man, I don't even know this man last name for real. Please. And so I had to write my, and they asked me all those questions. Do I know him? Am I in love? How long I been with him? Like, how me being dehydrated and pass out turn into me being in love with an inmate? No, this ain't it. And I'm like, lie detector to me, because all this answer to these questions, let's take a lie detector test, because that's gonna answer and ask me any question this so I can get back to my job. So I'm not thinking it's gonna be that serious. But y'all, I was under investigation. I was in the front popping the doors open for about almost 8 months. They had me up there popping the doors, or they're bored out my mind. Cause I want to go back to my unit, because shoot, I'm real rested now. It's boring up here. I ain't seen nobody get stabbed. Ain't nobody going off. I'm used to the inmate's mouth. Ain't nobody out here running their mouth. It was boring up there. So I was like, okay, cool. So after a while, you get used to it. Like this you got to go out there and pop the doors. And after that, I was up there for 8 months. And then one day they came and they told me that I meet with a warden today, and it had been like 8 months. So I'm thinking, like, at this point, my job must is up here, because I know I ain't did nothing. But they investigated everything, and the real reason why they thought that I was a blood and I was affiliated with the Bloods was because my ex-boyfriend was a blood. And I'm thinking, like, I ain't never put two together, but they insinuated that I was some kind of like head blood lady, and I was undercover working for them in the prison, like working for the Bloods in the prison. I'm thinking, like, what now? What? And y'all got all of this for looking on Facebook, please. And so after they did the investigation, I talked to the warden. The warden explained everything. They saw that my ex-boyfriend was affiliated with Bloods, and when the Bloods protected me, they thought that I was a blood. And you know, as a Christian, you can't be working there and you part of the gang. You can't be working there and be part of that, because you know they feel like you're gonna be with them. And I'm like, no, I ain't no blood. And then I'm like, can I still take that lie detector? They know, no, we know that you're telling the truth. We did our proper investigation. We're gonna let you go back to your unit. And I said, no, I like popping doors up here. They're like, Baker, go back to the unit. And so just as simple as I was up there, I was back on my unit. Soon as I opened up the door, they opened up my door. I opened up the sergeant's office and said, what's happening, Captain? What's going on with you? He like, Baker, they told me you were coming back today. They told me. I've been waiting for you to crack that door open all day. I said, Sue. They're like, Baker, don't start that shit now that you just got out of trial. I said, no, I'm a blood till I die, baby. Hey, I'm a blood. Like, that's what y'all thought I was? That's what you... He said, I kept telling them, you ain't no freaking blood. You don't know nothing. And then he said, it did not help that you knew about reading food. I said, hello, that's our job. We supposed to know about every game. And I did. And that really, to be honest, if you gonna put me on a game, you think I ain't gonna be up there gathering notes? No, I'm finna learn something, okay? Ain't got nothing else to do for 12 hours. I knew the food. I knew the language. And it just wasn't for them. I knew about the grips. I knew about the blood. I knew about everything, the Aryan Nation. I knew about a whole bunch of gangs up there, the Latino. I knew about different gangs that was up there. I knew about the Muslims. I knew about everybody. I was learning me a little bit just by watching them. So I knew a lot of stuff. And I said, Lord have mercy. And so I joked about it. And he said, Sarge said, you don't need to joke about this situation. I said, what they gonna do? Put me on an investigation yet? They could. I said, no. So, and I did it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I did it. We would be walking, because anytime we would leave, we would all leave together and go out. And so I would go down the hallway. Sometimes when I see the captains or lieutenants, or I see the ward, I do it. I be like, Sue. They're like, Baker, the hell with that shit now for you being an investigator. I said, God, I know y'all do it, so let me chill out, because I don't want to go out there popping them doors. I got a light by you, you know what I'm saying? My blood family blood. But y'all, I was in an investigation for a long time. And y'all, when you in an investigation, people get to talking. Ooh, they were talking when they were talking like, yeah, I heard Baker was fucking with that inmate. Yeah, Baker, you know Baker, the one that don't do nothing Baker. Oh yeah, and her man protected her when she fell on that floor. And it just went on, and it got from I was with the head blood. I was everything. Me and him had a special love affair going on. I'm like, well, who is spirit pregnant? This and that. But y'all, anytime you're in an investigation, baby, they're gonna say everything. I even heard I was pregnant by him. I was like, whoa, Jesus! I kept hearing so many stories. Like, I don't even know that man's last name for real. Okay, I don't know nothing about that man. I don't know why. So what ended up happening was, you know, when every time you get off of an investigation, they still watching. So I got on the unit, and he was like, just be careful, make sure that, you continue to do like you do, but at the same time, make sure you live in your conversation with the Bloods. I'm like, nah, that's my family. They be like, Becca, take us serious. I'm like, okay, we'll take you serious. And so when I got back on the unit, a lot of the inmates wanted to talk to me because they ain't seen me in 8 months. Like, you straight, Baker? You good? They bother you? Yeah, I said, no, they had me on investigation. They thought I was one of y'all for real. And they was like, no, Baker, you ain't banking nothing. They said, why did they think your police ass was a banker? I said, they thought I was going to I die. And they laughed. The inmates thought it was so funny that I was under investigation for being blood. They were like, no, you should be in an investigation for love of Jesus, because that's all you talk about. And when I was in prison, I was not totally devoted to God, but I think that working in the picture really pushed me towards a relationship. Like, before I would go in, clock in, y'all, I would pull up, I would eat my breakfast. I would always make me something and I'll eat my breakfast. I would read my Bible. I'll pray to the Lord, protect me, protect my family, help me make it back to my family, all that, right? I have a whole devotion. And then I'll play my gangster music, because I had to get in that war zone mindset. And I call it going to war. I go to the prison, and that's how I started all my days. And I really used to pray a lot, but I really won't serve the Lord like I'm supposed to. But I was encouraging other people to do it, because I know that's the only thing that's gonna get you through anything. But I ended up having a conversation with the dude that protected me, because I want to hear from him, like, why. I saw what the report said, but why did you do that? And so when I got back on the unit or whatever, I did my round. He was like, hey, yo, Baker, let me talk to you for a second. Let me rap with you for a second. I'm like, yeah, what's going on? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah, they were asking me everything. They was saying we had something going on. I'm like, Baker, bro, Baker ain't finna fuck with no inmate. Do y'all know Baker? Baker tell us to get the fuck out of her face. Like, Baker ain't going for that shit. She ain't going for none of that shit. I said, no. They said we were together. You got to think. I'm on the camera like this when he talking to me. I'm doing all this most, because I know they watching me. And in the prison, they can't hear what you saying, but they can see everything. So I'm like, stay away from me. I don't want nobody to think that. Every time he would get wild, anytime he would come close, gone over there. All my emotions was like that the whole time. Like, you need to go on over there, because that baby, they gonna say we trying to run off in the sunset together, baby. I ain't got time. And he'll laugh about it. But I did my round one day, and went, and at the end of that day, we did our round, but we had to do our count before we leave. And then that's when we got to talk, because everybody locked down then. And he told me, and I made sure I took like 3 officers with me, because I told them, hey, I want to talk to this man, but I want y'all there as my eyewitness, that we ain't talking about nothing we supposed to, because remember, they gonna think we got something going. But I want to know. Everybody want to know. Hey, bro, why you did? Because I told him, hey, I don't know what happened. I know I passed out. I was dehydrated and I passed out. But I want to hear what this man said. So I took like 3 officers. It was a male and another female. And I said, hey, what did you do? Why did you do it, though? Why did you do it? And he told me about his dream. He said he was dreaming, and he was walking down this road, and he was dreaming. Everything was good. He was walking down this road. Then he went to his house. He had a big house, the biggest house he ever seen. He had a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW. He had all this stuff, the luxury, everything was happening. And then he said, all of a sudden in the dream, he went to the nap. He was like, man, I'm tired. He was talking on the phone like, bro, I'm about to take a nap. I'm tired. I'm tired. I just got in the crib. I'm tired. And he's like, I took a nap in the thing. But then in the dream, I went to sleep, and I heard in my dream, hey, you need to wake up. You need to protect Baker. Go protect Baker. You need it. And it kept helping her. He was like, go protect Baker. Go protect Baker. If you protect Baker, I'll give your heart desires. If you go protect Baker, I'll protect you. And he was like, I kept hearing it. It kept echoing. He said, before you know it, I woke up. And when I wake up, the first thing I do, I'm in my room and my door, I'm asleep now. With my door cracked, and I don't never go to sleep with my door cracked. I always shut my door and turn, go to sleep. He was like, but I know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I went to sleep, but I went to sleep and I was knocked out too. And he was like, I woke up too. Go protect Baker, protect Baker, protect Baker. And he said it was like somebody repeating it over and over, and he could hear it. If you protect Baker, I'll give you a heart desire, and I'll protect you, and I'll protect you. So he said, I wake up, Baker, you on the floor. Your radio is at my door. He was like, your handcuffs is on the floor. And the first thing I got up, I lace up my shoes tight, because I'm thinking the nigga to knock you out. I said, well, baby, I think everybody thought somebody got hold of me. He was like, man, I'm going to have to kill these niggas today. So I lace up my shoes, get out there ready to start a war. It's just you on the floor and 4 niggas up there talking like, what we going to do? What going on? I told you ain't finna do shit, back up. I told them, back up. You ain't finna do shit for him. I had a dream, and in this dream, it told me to protect her. And they looking at me like, what, nigga? Yeah, back up. I don't know. I don't play with stuff like that. And he had told me one time about another dream one time before, and he was an inmate that had a lot of dreams. And if he had a dream about you, he'll tell you. I done walked up on him having a conversation with another inmate like, I had a dream about you, and I don't know what it means, but he was a dreamer. And he told me, I got up and I was like, man. He was like, my first instinct was to pick you up and carry you to the front door and bang on the door. But I felt like if they saw me touch you, that they're going to think that I'm doing something to you. So he was like, I thought it was safer for me to get my boys together to protect. Because I know they were going to do whatever I told, because I'm in command. They were going to do what I told to do. But he said, once them niggas started, he was like, those niggas were talking crazy while you were passed out. What they were going to do and how they could take turn. I said, hey, I don't want to know nothing else. Who were they? So I can get them out of here. And I found out who was who. He was like, just look on the camera. And you will see the ones that will hover over you, they were the ones plotting on you. And I watched them until I could get them out of here. And I did. I got them out of here. Oh, you gonna do it? And I figure who. And then once you work there long enough, people come up and tell you something. Put a little bug in your ear and walk off quick. It was such and such that say they won't do what you. Oh, we got them off the unit. You don't do nothing to me because you ain't gonna be around me. You ain't gonna never see me again. Next thing they know, they shipped off somewhere. You won't never see me. The way I'm locked in here, you ain't gonna never see me. But anyway, the man told me about the dreams, and I respected him for that. I ended up working on that unit for probably about another 8 months. And when this happened, I had been working for the prison for a while, y'all. I had been working for the prison for close to about 4 years. So I probably worked on that unit for another 8 months, and then they started rotating the officers out to different units to get them familiar with different tasks, because they wanted people to not get used to the unit, because if they felt like if you were on a unit with the same inmates all the time, it was create what they call undue familiarity. That means when you mix up with them and you get personal with the inmates. And then there was a such thing as PREA, like when you do have sex with an inmate, then they sued you, or you had to file a PREA act, and they took PREA very serious. So it was a lot of officers that were getting in trouble, and the inmates basically, they was like, officer such and such made me do such and such. So basically they would get close to an officer, have them doing inappropriate stuff, and then they'll do a PREA stuff so they can sue you and saying him made me do X, Y, and Z. And see, you get in trouble, possibly locked up, your children taken take away from you, you lose your job, and then you can't work for the state no more. You lose a whole bunch of stuff and possibly jail time. But see, they get a check, if you did something you ain't got no business doing. So it was a win-win for them either way, because lawfully they cannot give consent, because they're under your command. They cannot give consent to participate in any act. But anyway, that's the end of this story time. It was a crazy day. Yeah, I kept my water. I ended up going to the doctor, finding a primary doctor, and they basically got me on the iron supplement. And also I just, hey, you got to keep the water in now. You got to keep the water in. My doctor was, my doctor is still the same doctor from there. Her name is Dr. Cox. He's on point. If you do not have a primary doctor, please get you one, because baby, it can get real out here real quick, okay? And he on me. He be like, hey, take your iron. Hey, it's time to do it. He see me every 6 months just to make sure I done took my iron, make sure my blood pressure doing what it's supposed to do, and make sure I'm tenfold. That mean okay. But anyway, I thank you so much for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all go drink you some water. It's hot out here. Anyway, love you. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. Bye, Besties. Thank y'all for watching.